Aggro. Noun. Aggressive, violent behavior. How does that apply to games?
Holy shit, dude! Holy shit, dude!
Okay, so Tyler 1 is pretty entertaining. However, this is not the type of aggro I'm talking about. Let's take it back and rewind. Back to March 4th, 2008, and the release of Army of Two.
Alright, listen up. This is combat. You can die in combat. If you don't want to die, you have to use aggro. This is you. This is your partner. These are enemies. You shoot at them, attract their attention, they're gonna shoot at you, not your partner. Let's say you both shoot at them. If your partner has a bigger gun, the enemy will shoot at him instead of you. This is called aggro. If your partner has all the aggro, you're basically invisible. You can sneak around enemies, do whatever you want. But if you have the aggro, it's like you're glowing red.
Army of Two did an amazing job at implementing the principle of aggro to shooter games. They made it an in-game mechanic, even going as far to create an aggro meter, which allowed the player to understand how much attention the opposing bots were giving to them, thus allowing their teammates to adjust their gameplay accordingly. This concept can be applied to all shooter games today. But before I get ahead of myself, let's pause and go back even further, back to the term aggro and its beginnings. Originally, it was coined to describe any creature who would attack you on sight. So an aggro mob was one who would attack you without being provoked, as opposed to one who wouldn't attack you unless you attacked it first. It later became the act of being attacked. If you were being attacked, you had aggro. You can see in this clip a guild aggro's patchwork and proceeds to take him down as his damage is being completely mitigated. Not only does this display teamwork, but a deep level of understanding of a basic in-game mechanic. Now, you may think this is sarcasm, but honestly, understanding this mechanic will allow you to achieve things not obtainable otherwise. A great example of this would be Kripparian's world's first in killing Diablo on hardcore. It's a masterclass in understanding in-game mechanics, especially aggro, how he and Krippy use their individual abilities to survive, mitigate damage, deal damage, and ultimately take down Diablo is quite frankly nothing short of amazing. So let's fast forward. How does aggro apply to a game like... So for that, let's take a look at Shroud. Wait. What is this? Turn it, please, turn it off. Okay, Jesus.
Low. That's also low.
In this clip, you see Shroud in an extremely advantageous position, above the opponents, and you can see he has absolutely no fear in engaging in the fight. Both of his teammates are engaging the enemies, and he's free to take them down. His teammates received all the aggro, and he received none, which makes sense in this situation considering the positioning of everyone.
Robots down.
Okay, maybe that's a bare bones example. The enemies were outpositioned, outgunned, and even a not so skilled player would have wiped them in that situation. Let's jump to the 20k Code Red tournament with a small clip from Dr. Disrespect.
On Doc, come back, right here.
As you can see, Doc makes an incredible play with his reactions. He turns on the lifeline and pumps damage into her. But if you notice closely, you can see weapon fire from Vis and Crafty on the top of Doc's field of view. Doc has the aggro, and his teammates are using the fact that they don't to execute the takedown. What you don't see is off camera, Vis is being shot by Gibraltar. However, what is next is good communication from Vis. Doc, although he is low, understands he is safe because he has no aggro, and he engages in the fight to take down Gibraltar.
Okay, yo, Gibraltar around the corner. Nice. Last one, Bloodhound. Right here on me. Got it.
Yeah, 118 damage spread amongst 3 targets may not seem like a lot, but at high level of gameplay, It is. And because Doc and his teammates understand the basic principles of aggro, they are able to perform at a high level, dealing as much damage as possible and ultimately surviving. Many new players to the genre don't use aggro. It is not something that pops in their head when going in for an engagement. They only see and react to what's on the screen, not thinking about the game around them, not putting themselves in a teammate's perspective, thus not appropriately approaching a skirmish. You may be one of those players. Hell, honestly, most of the time, I'm one of those players. Noobs and elite players alike don't use aggro all the time, leading to unnecessary downs, lost advantages, and many times, a squad elimination.
What is this lad?
So in your next game, don't just be aggro, manipulate the opposing team's aggro. Know when to hide.
Does the market change every day?
Shh. Know when to distract and shoot. And of course, understand when it's an appropriate time to be greedy and going for that kill.
Oh!
Thank you for watching, guys. It means a lot to me, and I hope you subscribe to watch more content like this in the future. Peace.